Okay, let's see if this actually works this time. Test, test, test. Let's see if we're showing live. This is so weird. I had to actually turn off the dual just so I could go to this. And is it actually showing? It is actually showing live. So if you're here and listening, welcome. And I can hear myself talking on my own. Okay, I can mute that. You guys are hearing things. You may actually hear some other things like outside noise because I have the window open. I do have a dog, so he occasionally barks and grumbles and plays. I do have a significant other who's listening on headsets in the other room, so you may hear him occasionally. um, as everybody knows, I am just testing Meld Studios. I could not get it to dual stream to Twitch at the moment. So at least my mic is working. So far, my headphones seem to be working. I still need to test the Discord eventually. And also, if I play a video, will you guys actually hear it? I don't know. We will test that eventually. I'm not in the mood to do that right now. I am in the mood to talk about the shutdown. And everything you're going to hear, all the little noises in my house, my little water bottles, my cups, my things like that, because this mic is very sensitive. And I have not figured out how to control it yet. I still need to put the boom on there. There's lots of things I need to do. But we're going to be working on this as we go along. I've taken time off from streaming, um, but it's time I got back into it and I may stream some of the games. I am a EVE Online gamer that I absolutely love. But right now, I think it's more important to talk about what's happening in U.S. politics. It affects all of us. And to the younger ones who get to hear for the rest of their lives, just like we all did, every vote matters. I hate to tell you this, but every vote is going to be the most important vote of your life because will affect your here and now and into the future. So, things that like happened when I was a kid, like when Reagan was around, is still affecting us here and now. So, you'll get to see that. Hopefully, Kelly will be along in the chat soon. So if you're out there, Kelly, come say hi to us. I may have to open the Discord and ping her again. Because I need to make sure she has mod over on YouTube. Um, what else? Let's see. I am over on Blue Sky. I still have Twitter. I only ever pull it up to kind of check things. I actually don't interact with it anymore because it's gotten so nasty. Um, Blue Sky though, I wish more people interacted more, but it's not set up with the algorithm like that. So if you actually want to check on people and things that are happening, you have to go check in on them. Um, oh my goodness, there's so many things I could talk about. Um, we're gonna hear a lot as I'm testing this. There she is. The volume is low. I don't know how to make it any louder. It is at 200%. Let's see. I do need to. There we go. There you go. You may have to sign back out and sign back in. I will try to talk into my mic a little bit louder, but this is the one we tested, so you could hear me in Discord. But I also pulled the mic closer to my face. And I hate like eating the mic. It's awful, but it is what it is. So, At least you can hear me, because when I first went live the first time, nothing was coming through. It wouldn't pick up my mic at all. I can double check to make sure that we go into. No, why am I doing that? Wrong one. I still have the other monitor to hook up, and I'm making everybody dizzy with this. Sorry. Forgive me. That's why. Too many things going at one time. Sound. Double check. Cute little neighbors next door are. Yeah, I'm 100% outbound on my mic. And there is nothing more I can do except for hook up another system to add that. So I literally have to keep this mic like an inch from my face. All right, neighbors get noisy, so give me a second. I'm gonna have to close the window. You guys don't actually want to hear that. Now I'm gonna roast. Is that better? Oh, look, there's a Seth. Are you here to troll? Yeah. We don't like trolls very much. Yes, drinking water. Sorry. Oh, I get to be Robo Liz again. Robo Liz literally just had a whole bunch of dental work done yesterday, so my mouth is a little bit sore. And I'm trying to keep a little bit more hydrated and find my chapstick. There we go, because that'll help. Well, thank you. Hooray by your phone. It sounds great. Oh, you're dual testing. Yes, we're testing all the streams. I got a cough. Give me a second. I'm not used to having an open mic. I'm used to being a push to talk person. So this open mic thing feels a little weird to me, that I actually have to push a mute button instead of just pushing a push to talk button. I will have to get used to that. So anyway, I don't know if you guys know or not, but in the US, we are having a government shutdown, which may or may not be a bad thing depending upon who you are, where you are, what's going on. I've been through plenty of these. Some of us old farts have been there. I'm trying to remember we were still stationed in San Diego the first time it happened to us, and I freaked out because I didn't know. So if you're freaking out, it's okay. I understand. Yeah, no martial law. Do you really think martial law would be happening in the United States? We have over 330 million people in the United States. We are the third largest landmass country in the world. We have less than 4 million military members. We have less than a million law enforcement officers. So we're talking that there is less than 5 million. And you divide that, if they work 12-hour shifts, you would divide that by 4. And that would be maintaining the whole country. That's not happening. It's not feasible. It's just, anybody who tries to scare you like that, get your facts and figures right. And I mean, they're going to try to scare you in little pockets of stuff like that. But just realize, I want you to, if you really think that's happening, pull up your county government website and look at the pay for those departments and then figure out what their budgets are. Hang on. Not going to be able to do it. You're not going to, because every state has qualifications that you would need for arrest authority. You couldn't get them pumped out fast enough. You did, it's just not feasible. And anybody who thinks that, the whole anarchists who want this stuff, I don't agree with you. We are military law enforcement family. I'm in Vegas too. What would you call, oh well, turn one off, Kelly. Yeah. The you're not going to pull that manpower. Actually, if we want to go into that, if you want to look at that, let's look at the voting records. This is 2020 and 2024. The actual voter counts, the ones that were logged, the recorded ones. I mean, there's a big gap. You know, I just, I don't see it. What are you talking about? When when I was in California, when did martial law happen? When and over what? Oh, the fires? What about the fires? They're little controlled areas. That's completely different than taking it nationwide. I personally, oh, that was, no, the government shutdown, yes. But well, I thought we were talking about martial law. I'm so confused. Are we talking martial law? Or are we talking about shutdown? Yeah. Which one? Oh my goodness. Just happy. Well, you like chaos. Yeah. And I'm not one for chaos. Well, it's true. Don't lie. You know you like it. So, anyway, I was going to tell people. I don't think it is up to date. I think a lot of these are from the previous shutdowns. But you can go to fedfam.org. There are some resources in here and things like that. So if you are going to be affected by the government shutdown, you may have to find the new links to some of these resources. But at least it's available. There are talking points, shutdown information. If you are on Blue Sky, I am also on Blue Sky. Look for me, Liz Lizardbreath. I have linked at the top is the Get Involved, Get Connected for people who've never done these kinds of things. Um, how to get involved, why to get involved. I personally will not be out there on the streets because I have a capsaicin allergy. So I actually put people at risk if I were to go out there. So anybody with pepper spray, mace, anything pepper associated, I'm a detriment. Oh, Brennan. Yeah. So, um, me out there? No. I can tell you what to do though, because I used to do it before I had a capsaicin allergy. Rainbow and Tropicana. Hmm. Okay. Oh, okay. So, I do have links to this though on my Blue Sky. I may have linked it over on Twitter at one time, um, but that's basically it. I have Twitch, I have YouTube, I have Blue Sky, and Twitter just for viewing purposes. But associating with Twitter or anything like that, I don't do it anymore. I just peep in and go, holy shit, it's on fire. You'll show me later? Okay. Kelly, I understand, but do I trust them not going crazy? Yeah. This is they keep drawing the lines in the sand, and they keep stepping over them, and that's oh okay. Will you find me on Blue Sky and link me that link? I mean, shit happens all the time. Sadly, a lot of humans are not good people. A lot of humans are selfish. I actually, when I was talking to my mother earlier, um, right now, what's going on kind of doesn't really affect us per se, but I do know it affects people that I love. So if I can't talk about these things, who can? You know, um, my husband is retired military. My husband is also retired law enforcement. We know the ins and outs. I worked HR for lots of things. I've worked for and against unions. I grew up in the construction field. I started out as a cleanup kid and worked my way all the way up into project management. So I've done a lot of things in life. So I have a lot of experience in lots of things. I like to be a Jill of most trades and master of none because I don't want to go research it. I want to go look it up. I want to verify it. And a lot of people don't. And I find that sad because I'm always learning something new. And we have a lot of people who are just kind of stuck in where they are. Oh, see, I hate to hear that. I mean, yeah, it's tough. Hi, bud. See, I would love. Now, has anybody ever backtracked that? Has anybody looked into it more? See, we need more investigative journalists who actually have integrity and who are going to search for the truth. Seth, did it get, or maybe I'll just call you absolute? Because I hate the whole Seth thing. I'm sorry. I wish people did better. If I could sprinkle magic dust, I would. It would be nice. If he's gross. Sorry. I don't like people who take advantage of other people, and he tends to do that, and he talks down to people, and I definitely don't like that. Yeah, I'm not okay with that. I just I do not cope with that well. I want people to help each other. Um, I just do. You know, if you can get involved, if you can get talking and helping people, that's the best way to do it. Because as far as I'm concerned, together is better. Hang on, I got a cough. Sorry, don't want to keep blowing eardrums out. Um, so we've gone off on this tangent. Um, absolute. Do you have? Did anything get resolved for you, and what happened, or are you six years down and no resolution? That's my curiosity. Oh, I didn't even notice my little OPSEC was up. I think there's more to just a missing uncle. See, we need this whole story. We need this whole story because I'll tell you when the stalker that I had, they kept telling me that I was going to drop the case. I was going to drop the case. I was going to drop the case. 3 years. 3 years they told me I was going to drop the case. 3 years, every single week, I was the squeaky wheel. I was the squeaky wheel. And that, sadly, is what you have to do. You have to be an advocate for yourself. There are groups out there, victims groups out there, and a lot of them are terrific. If you can volunteer with one, volunteer with one. Because a lot of times you get connections that you may not otherwise have. So become the squeaky wheel. Find out what your laws are. Pay attention to what's going on. I need Seth, absolute. Change your name. Let's just go absolute. I want details. Send me details. I need to know about this case because there are, and look at how many podcasters who have, yeah. Um, Look at how many true crime podcasts there are. I'm not one of those. Do I like listen for them? Absolutely. But could I run those all down? No, I got bigger fish to fry right now, like the big orange kind. Oh, you know what? That would be, I'd love for the Nevada Democrats to come up with a whole list of resources for people for things that happen. How to be, you know, that would be a terrific project. So many of them have connections that we don't have. You know, those are all things like Kelly and I were talking at one point. We were trying to come up with a to-do list. And it's like it's overwhelming for just myself to be doing this. I got the get involved, get connected, and then I have other things I'm working on as well. And so I can't do it all. Um, I have tried asking other people for help. I've gotten a few that have kind of helped and sent links and stuff like that. But most time they just give you a name and you have to go research it. It's like just send me just link me a flippin', connection. If you know their webpage, just drop me their webpage so I can just slap it in somewhere. Welcome back, Kelly. Yeah, I still haven't even checked my email from what you sent me earlier. So, um, and I'll wait to pull that up later. I completely sidetracked. This was not how I was thinking tonight was going to go. Tribal areas, period, are affected. It doesn't matter if it's just Nevada, it happens nationwide and it's horrible. And it gets shoved under the rug, and a lot of people don't talk about it. And I wish more people would. I wish, you know, I wish I had more time to be able to put together groups to work together and put out highlights for things. Hey, this is the first one. First one. We're testing this out. Eventually, we will test other things out. Hopefully, I'll be able to test the Discord out for the next one and also get the Twitch working alongside the YouTube through the Meld programming because that did not like it. That did not like it at all. Yeah, and there is. I don't. Do I have it in the tab? Hmm. I wish we could get a lot of like the Native American Rights Fund, Cherokee Nation, Lakota Peoples, Tanana Chiefs, Native Voice One. A lot of these groups are so independent, but we need them to become coalitions to start working with each other and start networking more. It's tough. I mean, even like on every single one of these things, every single one of these involvement. Let's get involved. Let's get connected. Um, I would like to see more of them working as a coalition and kind of dividing up into what they do. Then again, I also think like cancer research. I would love to see like two or three big hospitals with individual wings that cover things. So that way fundings get collated and utilized better. Um, we have such an independence here in the United States where a lot of things people think that they're doing because they didn't like how somebody else was doing it instead of just, you know, bending it and working a little bit toward the greater good. Yeah. Yeah. This is remember the to-do list. This is why we were working on it. And I wish I don't even think I have. Can I can I pull that up over here so I don't pull that up on the screen? Maybe. Let's see. I think I do. Um I do. Let me pull this part. Yeah, it was like being able to get the task list, shareable community calendars of events, boycotts, protests. I don't know why somebody doesn't have just a oh no anti Seth the 10th. Oh my god. Be nice or I'll block you. um, I would love to see more of the oh god. How many flipping counts do you have? Are you one of those people that go through and fight with each other on somebody else's stream? I have seen that. I do play Eve Online. You know what? Why don't you hire a private investigator? You know, is there a local action advocacy? There might be a group. I mean, I just, yeah. It's like in my cases and stuff, I was the squeaky wheel. Um, and then when I finally did get my restraining order against this person and try to get it enforced, yeah, I now see Kelly, I wish, how do I say this? I wish more people were like Horsford and we could get them all roped in and working together. That's what I was hoping like the local would be doing, but that doesn't seem to be that way, and I'm a little peeved at that. But I also can't be too peeved because they are fighting an algorithm. Yeah, you guys are also smaller population wise, so per capita it's going to be different. I mean, look at like here, look it up in Reno, bigger locations, and then in and around some of the smaller areas that people just don't know if people disappear. I wish, and maybe that is a thing for his office. Can or do you know of somebody who can build us a database where people could submit things that are going on. Because obviously, like the emails and stuff, you and I have talked about that. You either get like less than 24-hour notice something's going to happen, or you get notification that it happened in the previous month. If you're gathering all your evidence, um, is there not a local news reporter that covers stories like that? Would they not have better access to things? Oh, there goes a husband. There goes a puppy. And I think there was a ball that just went flying. Hang on, I got a cough. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I personally, I would talk to one of the reporters. I think that would be my first place. If law enforcement hasn't done anything, don't, oh, never mind. I'm just one person. I can't do it all. There are people who specialize in this. But if you're getting all of your information together, that's where I would start. I would go to somebody who actually had connections to find out things. Hang on, gotta mute again. I, I don't know of any reporters, but I do know the local news stations have helplines. I mean, submit their information. Somebody may check it out. I that is my best thing to say. Or if you've got the information, take it to one of these true crime podcasters. I know they have resources and stuff too, and people they work with. That I mean, they already have stuff built in for that. They all have almost websites and things like that. If I really wanted information and law enforcement was not working with me, and the DA's office and victim services wasn't working with me, I would go to a news station. I would go and look at the journalists and submit it to them. And from there, I would go to like the true crime podcasters. Yeah, I mean, that's just, I'm one of those that I'm going to go to somebody who actually knows the ins and outs of, especially the area. Yeah. And you got to be the squeaky wheel, sadly. It's horrible. It is absolutely horrible that you have to do it. Just like people don't understand that, yes, my husband was law enforcement, but I didn't get treated any differently for my case. I was told by the chief of police, at the time he was only a sergeant, that just because I heard a restraining order doesn't mean that they were actually going to do anything unless I was broken, bleeding, or dead. So, yes, I understand the frustration. And that is why I worked so hard to make sure that it didn't happen to others. I broke the cycle to where now they prosecute cases like mine because I was told over and over and over that I wasn't going to follow through. I wasn't going to show up to court cases. I wasn't going to do this because people had let them down before. And I didn't do that. Oh, somebody's making something. Okay. Thanks, Kelly. I wish he was on the air right now. He is cool. Can you guys hear the beeping? That is the microwave. My husband is making food of some kind. Waiting for him to pop in my office door. Absolute. Here's what I have. I have faith that if you really want something done, you're going to get something done. No, not popcorn. Maybe a burrito? I don't know. I'm not going to go ask him though. I think he slammed his headphones back on. I have my office door open, so anything I say in here, he can kind of overhear. And it's hot and stuffy. Okay, so shall I try to get back to this? I think Absolute wanted me to figure it out for him, and I don't have the capacity for that. And I feel bad that I don't have the capacity for that. I don't have the contacts here like I did when we were in California. I wouldn't know who to even broach. Hmm. And this has been for how long? How many years? 2006? 2019. 6 years. Why don't I say 2006? Oh, 6 years. 6 years. That's a long time. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I This is not my area of expertise. I was my own advocate because I had to be. But I also encourage everybody to be their own advocate. So I think he is tuned out. Or maybe he's here still. I feel bad. I'm one of those that I would love to be able to solve everybody's problems, but that doesn't always happen. It's not my area expertise. Spreadsheets? I can build your spreadsheets all day long. Building websites, I cannot do. Tracking down people and compiling information like that and having the connections to get others to hear things and do anything about it, I don't have. I really, really wish I did. Oh, let's see if he's going to get the microwave the first time or if he's going to let it beep multiple times. Switching tabs. I love my spreadsheets. All right. Can you see? No, I need to move it over. This is the problem. Damn it, now you want popcorn. Yeah, no. I probably should get rid of that top line, and I'm not going to, though. So, anyway, what I wanted to talk about, because I keep hearing that 90 million number, people are like, 90 million people didn't vote in the US. And that frustrated me. So I went and looked it up. And the professor who originally put that out did not put out all of the certified results because they weren't in yet. He did it on some numbers that got readjusted. So if you continually say that 90 million, you're wrong. You are absolutely positively wrong. I have mailed that professor asking him to update his information. I have sent him links to the certified information. Last I checked, that was back in April. I haven't touched it since then. Um, it had not been updated. It had not been updated. So what I went and did is I actually went and pulled all the certified numbers from the states, what they submitted, um, things like that. I went by like the total population. Those were the census data's square miles for each state, the total votes for 2020 voting, the total votes for 2024 voting. Then I went through and found the 2020 registered active voters and the 2024 voter um, registered voters, and then found out the difference between 2024 to 20 or 2020. 2020, I'm having words are hard. From 2020 to 2024, the differences in the registered voters, because that was a curiosity thing to me. And then the percentage of registered voters to who actually showed up, and then figured out the difference between how many people were registered and how many people did not vote. And then, of course, who they voted for, and then percentages, things like that. So, um, anybody who's still claiming the 90 million, you're wrong. I hate to tell you that, but you're wrong. It was actually 65 million, which is still too high. But how many people were automatically registered that had not intended to vote? How many people sat it out? And how many people did not get their votes counted? Because we are now seeing data come out. I don't know if you've seen any of the stuff from the Election Truth Alliance. It's pretty impressive. Do I buy in all of it? No, because I don't have all the data, so I'm not going 100% into it. Do I like what they are presenting, though? Absolutely, because I think where they're going with it makes us stronger in our voting and tracking things like that. So, are we going to rehash 2024? No. But are we going to find out details to where things may or may not get caught the next time we go to vote? Kelly. Um, yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping they nail down some of these things because there are variables that nobody thinks about. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, 90 million to 65 million, and then hearing some of the numbers, it does have a thing to play. It does, and it makes it hard for people. And I don't want to make it harder for people. Your vote is your vote, and you should be able to vote. And the easier we make it, the better off everybody is. Because then we don't have people going, well, you stole this and you stole this and just that whole chaos. I mean, a vote is a vote is a vote. I do not like Citizens United. I do not like the Electoral College because I think it takes away from people. We are United States Americans. We are the United States of America. We have seen in our past, and that's the other thing. This whole thing of trying to rewrite history. Stop it. Oh my god. Stop it. Yeah. Right, Kelly. You know, I don't understand this rewriting of the history. Going through those hardships and our country overcoming them made us stronger. Why don't people understand that? Sometimes going through hard times and learning lessons from that is not a bad thing. I, you know, I don't, hmm, how do I say this? The shying away from things that happened in the past, it just seems like the easy way to me. Why not say, okay, that's in the past and we're now in the present? We understand what happened there and we're going to try to not do that again. We've learned from those. So why don't we take those lessons and make sure we don't repeat those? That's what I would like to know. I don't think I don't think history is bad or good. I think it's just history. I think it depends, a lot of it depends on who's writing it though. And the information that comes out over time from multiple sides, hey, let's sit down and talk about it. It's not bad or good, it's just their perception of what's going on. I don't think it is a, in my book, I don't think it's bad. This retrying to rewrite things and cover up things because it doesn't make you happy or doesn't convey a certain um, projection that you're trying to do is what do you care? What do you care? Are you afraid somebody's going to learn a good lesson not to go through and do it again? I mean, this whole, that just, I have not finished reading the transcripts from today's meeting that happened with the president and Hegseth. I've not, and I don't want to hear them. I want to read their words. I typically like to get the transcripts and read through them because I don't want to hear it in your voice. I don't want to hear the tone of voice. I want to see what you actually said because that's going to tell me how I should take it. You screaming and yelling and doing all these things, I'm going to tune that out. I'm going to go and see what you actually said in the written form. Yeah, Kelly, I don't like him. I'm sorry. I don't like him. I don't think he's good for Nevada. I think there is some shady shit. Um, just like him using his uniform and it being a higher fine than now him only having to pay a $5,000 fine for his little campaign fiasco thingy and then not having to cover the cost of the actual happenings because he decided to go against the rules and regulations. I think he should have to pay that back as well. Sorry. I mean, that just, you cost us time, effort, and energy. Yeah, it's things like that I just find annoying. Because it's like, what is that going to teach you? And what's that going to teach somebody else? That they're going to go off and do the same thing and get away with it with a slap? You guys want to talk about, you know, oh, we're tough on crime or scream law and order. But when it comes to you actually breaking laws, regulations, and rulings, you're like, Whatever. Sorry. And that just, but that's my personal thing. Not everybody feels that way. I've been called because I tend to, yeah, I tend to not make a snap judgment about things, especially when it comes to like law enforcement and military stuff. I know investigations are going to happen, things are going to go forward. They are going to change as things are found. I may have a gut reaction initially, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to go overboard on it because I want to wait for the investigation. We have seen it too many times where they thought something happened in the moment and come to find out when they actually get all the information, it wasn't that way. Well, and people like to be divisive even. And it's like, don't. Just don't. You don't have to. You really don't. You actually can just sit and wait for information to come out. I know people love that headline breaking news. And it's like, that's the conversation you have with your friends. That's the conversation that's like, oh, wow, I'm going to speculate about that. I'm not going to run to the internet and go, hey, let's talk about this. Now, come to the government shutdown stuff. That's happening. I want people to be able to find information about it because I don't want people to be fearful of it. So, fedfam.org, there are other resources out there. Look in your local community, find what works for you. If you don't know or can't find anybody, find somebody who can. Call your local. Um, Visit your county or city website. See what they have for stuff like that. Visit your bank. Just visit your bank's website. They might actually have something on that. If you have a credit union, um, now every credit union I've ever been, anytime there's been a government shutdown, has been terrific about maintaining um, what's going on, how to help you, and things like that. Yeah, come here and ask us. You can leave a message underneath. You can pop in chat. You can find me on Blue Sky. Um, Twitch, my DMs are open over on Twitch as well under Liz Lizard Breath. So I don't lock that stuff because the worst case scenario is if you're a creeper, I'm just going to block you. I'm not one of those. I don't have a problem with blocking people. I'd rather not. I'd rather we actually just talk about it. Sorry, drinking. Oh, now I got a cough. Okay, better. I don't want to cough in your ear. Talking is hard. I thought I was going to get more coverage going. Been at this for an hour. Got nothing done. There will be no video after this. It'll just be live. There's not going to be anything to crop into video form other than, hey, Democrats, start turning on your chats, start going live. And actually, if you get the trolls, deal with them. It's not that hard. I promise. Turn the chat on. It's frustrating seeing um, so many of the people who went live earlier to cover things, and they actually didn't have a live chat. And you can put it in slow mode. It's really not that hard. I hope we did. I hope that He will reach out to Horsford's office. He will find somebody in the local departments who will take his information, find a private investigator, find a true crime podcaster who can actually help. That's what I'm hopeful for. Because that's what you've done, Kelly. And I'm more one to come sit at my desk because my spreadsheets are here. It's easier. I I wish that man would go live every single day, even if it was for half an hour. Uh-oh. Child is barking. Hang on. Sorry. You know what? I would love for all of our locals right in the area to start connecting and working with um, better together. Um, I can say that I am very disappointed in like Las Vegas Democrats, the committee, because they have not been on top of getting information out and staying informed. We have surrounding counties that are doing that, but like like I've said before, um, I started trying to connect with them in January, and then nothing happened. Nobody got back to me, so I kept continuing emailing, um, things like that. I finally got on the emails this last time, so that was what 7.5 months in the making, something like that. But if you call, you can never get any answers, and that to me is frustrating because it's like, okay, how do we ask questions? Why is there not a forum board that you are actually taking information on? There's just so many things. There are so many resources that are not being utilized. The Zoom meetings, like the 5051s and the People Power. Um, some of the bigger groups, like the People Power Network, I kind of back away from that one because there's just so much going on at all times. It's like everything's thrown at you. Um, what was why am I having a brain fart on Demcast? I love Demcast. The problem with it, a lot of the Demcast stuff has kind of they have like an overwhelming portion in some places that it's like they have all the links to the people posting, and it's like, why don't we just keep that to what you want people to post? We don't have to see, you know, 3 or 400 people post the same thing that pops up and populates. It's just ridiculous. Nobody needs that. I don't need to scroll through that. Yeah, you're disappointed. Yeah, I mean, don't don't continue to hit me up for money every single day, multiple times a day, especially when people have already donated to you. That is frustrating. How do you not have an on and off switch that sends those emails out? I get deadlines, but if somebody has donated in the last quarter and that's what they're Why are you still sending them? Why are you still sending them? I I get frustrated by that because it's like, you know, mm, there's lots of things. There's literally lots of things I could bitch about. And so many of us do. I how do I put this? I love what a lot of the stuff for Democrats stand for. What I see a lot of failure though is people don't recognize what the DNC actually does. And I didn't know until I started learning about it. I don't blame the DNC for just being the funding arm and working with people to try to get them the help that they need for getting into the elections. I don't have a problem with that. I wish that we had what is the why am I having the brain fart? Why run for something? Sorry, run for something. I had a brain fart on that one. I don't understand why the DNC is not cooperating with run for something. Why aren't we combining these things? Why are we trying to remake the wheel when you guys are both hosting and doing things and teaching people how to get involved in politics, how to run for elections, whether it be from their local school board because they have children there that they want to help and make sure things happen. Um, why are we duplicating so many of these processes? Yeah, yeah, Kelly. I mean, that's. Do they? I no. I thought it was all. I thought it was from locals all the way up. I could have swore it was all. Now we need clarification on that. You know what? That is what Ken Martin. If you are listening to us, if you ever get a hold of this, if you ever hear this, please, please explain to people exactly what it is the DNC does. And you're going to have to repeat it numerous times everywhere. You are going to have to be a broken record. I I don't know, Kelly. That's okay. We need clarification on that because I thought it was locals up. Okay, so then that point, um, run for something is doing a better job at it. Then, well, that's still part of DNC though. I mean, there's the top, and then there's the state, and then there's the locals. Do those all not fall under the national committee? Wait, so all right, so I want you to draw me a map, Kelly. I want you to draw me a little bubble list. What gets covered under the national Ken Martins? And then I want to know what happens and falls under the state. And then when I want to know what happens under the locals. Is there is there actually it's like the court spreadsheet, what falls under the courts. See, and that's the thing. Okay, so why isn't the head explaining this over and over again? Because if you've ever done any kind of streaming, if you've ever done any talking points, people know that you literally have to say things over and over each time because new people are tuning in. So you're going to have to repeat yourself. If it were me and I were doing stuff like Ken Martin and his crew, I would be having a stream up every single night. I would be coordinating with all of your voices, putting 2 or 3 on every night and talking about it. That's what I would do. See, I mean, that's okay. Perfect. We need a graph for that, Kelly. I want them to give me a graph for that. I've been to the website. I've never seen anything like that. Explain to people how it works. Because, you know, us center to left, we like details. I hate to be the one who says, I'm not one of those people who falls for the cheap slogans. That's not my nature. Can I chant it? Yeah, fine, whatever. Do I believe in it? No, I want details. I am that big of a nerd. And I think a lot of us who are in the center to the left like that. And it's hard to not be like that because that's how we retain information. We don't want to just fall down and go blah blah blah. It just, are there some people who do that? Yes. People don't want to pay attention. It's boring. I get it. I really do get it. But the thing is, how do you learn? How do you grow? How do you make sure that you're protecting your friends, your family, your communities, and your country? If you're just be like, well, this is the only way, it's not. Anybody who tells you that an issue is black and white, they're lying to you. There are so many, can I say shades of gray? Yeah. But I could also say there's pink, purple, and teal. I could say they're silver. I could say they're just, there's not a black and white. There's not a cut and dry anything in life. And people who can't see rainbows or don't want to see the differences, why? Come explain to me why you think it's black and white. Why you think it's one way or the other. That's my curiosity. And I have family who is to the right. Some of them I am not talking to at all because they are actually being mean. And I'm not just talking like mean, like verbally. They actually would hurt people. And I don't like that. And I won't associate it with it. Um, I, how do I explain this? Like the TV show Jackass, I didn't enjoy that because you were setting somebody up to be either humiliated or get hurt. And I don't do that well. Um, I I don't like people who sneak up on other people and jump out at them um, in that mean spirited way. If it's a joke and you're just joking around and it's not going to hurt anybody and you know the person isn't going to freak out and they're okay with jokes, that's one thing. When it comes down to actually trying to hurt somebody, I don't do that well. And that it's that mean spiritedness that I just don't like it. And you see that. And I think it's we had a neighbor when oh god, we were kids. He would get so angry that like the veins would start popping out in his neck. He was just so angry because something just little thing went off and it just he couldn't let it go. Um that tells me that person is not a stable person. That tells me that there are underlying things. And thankfully this neighbor got their shit together. And they quit doing things like that. And they grew out of it. But some people don't. Some people like that. Um, I dated a guy. God, that's been like 100 years ago, I think. Cookie time. Yes, spoiled. Um, but I dated a guy that he didn't have the best home life growing up. And he ended up going and living with his grandparents. But I mean, they were physically cruel to him. And he didn't see that what a lot of the things that he did, what he thought were jokes, were actually very harmful to people. And if you tried to explain it to him, he didn't get it. And it was like, I can't explain it to you if you're not going to try to understand it. But you always jumping out and trying to spook somebody who, especially somebody who is extra spooky or they have a health condition, and you know that, that says you're probably doing it for the wrong reason. So, yeah, I don't like that. I just don't. We don't have to be mean. You can play jokes, you can tell jokes. You don't have to be mean about it. Just like I love the thing I do love, I love the people who are putting on the like the blow up dinosaurs and having the neighborhood marches and things like that, or having a jousting with their kids or things like that. That's fun, you know, going and doing that kind of stuff. That is where I would rather see more people putting energy into um, going out and being a civilized person and trying to help others. I am more geared toward that. So, yeah, please don't be a jerk. And that's the thing. I'd rather have the conversations. I'd rather have those conversations and just stop. Just stop and listen for a second. You know, it. I don't know. I wish I could put my brain in more people. How's that? And give them part of my heart. and be like, you too can be open. You too can try to understand. Let me share with you my experiences in life. Are you, and not everybody's going to learn for them. Me telling my stories is me sharing, me being able to, um, doesn't always mean that you're going to get where I'm coming from. But I'd rather have the conversations. It's not a hard thing to do. I don't want to scream and yell. If I have to raise my voice, I'd rather not. I will just, mute you or block you. Because if you are at that point where you are just explosive, you're not ready to have a conversation. You just want to talk at somebody. And that is like right now, I feel like I am talking at people. I don't do that very well. I'm doing better. I am learning, but I would rather have people up here actually having a conversation. And yes, that is one thing I will be working on to see if the next testing with the Meld, if I can get the Discord to work. Yeah. I mean, I would rather have the one on ones. I don't like the big panels where everybody is screaming over each other. I like it when people will actually self mute and have a conversation. I've been on quite a few panels where it just becomes a screaming match and nobody can hear what anybody is saying and nothing gets resolved. I'd rather work for resolutions. Compromises? Can we work together and figure this out? Most of the time, I'm going to say yes. Is it going to be 100% for anybody? No. Is it going to be for the greater good? I would say that's where I would rather work toward. Just like, heck, if I were any of these billionaires, yes, I call them billionaires. If you saw the post like 6 months ago, you'd know where that come from. They are billionaires. I would be doing so much good stuff. I mean, I would work on creating a funding program to where people who are inundated with their student loans, I would create a little funding program to where people would pay into that monthly, not overextended like they are now, but be able to say, hey, I can afford to pay back $100 a month and I can do that for, 10 years if I owe X amount of money. But to figure it out. So what? You know that you're in a guaranteed amount of time that you could pay that off, even if it were just at 1%, just to cover the people who are having to work on the fund. I mean, I'd rather see that. But then again, like people fundraising. And we all have so many people that hit us up for individual things all the time. We have creators that they're all individuals. I wish there was a collective group. And well, there technically is. There is Chorus that is working for people central to the left who are trying to work with creators, and get them funding to where they can get on their own feet. I'm okay with stuff like that. I personally, we're okay. We're comfortable. If I ever get sued, then I might open up funding. But then again, I don't mind people saying, okay, you want to subscribe to me because we're doing X, Y, and Z. You know what? You want to chip in $1 a month or even $1.50 a month to cover the fee on that so you're paying in to a pool? Would you rather have a million people putting in a million or a dollar, or saying you're charging $10 a month and getting less people? You know, I'd rather spread it. But then again, I like the idea of like the group funding like the little, for a while there, the micro loans that people were working on, the micro funding groups. You know, oh, that would be great. But actually, you know what? Cat for Illinois. We were talking because she's trying something different. She is trying to stream different games and things like that and doing fundraisers that way. But she's actually talking to people in her streams. She's actually talking to people. That in itself, I appreciate. And a lot of people are like, well, I can't donate because I don't live in your area. And it was like, and we have this. We have people who are around the world, or we have like people who live outside of our country, who are US citizens, or they're stationed abroad, or they're working abroad right now. Things like that that legally cannot donate to their campaigns. So my suggestion was, okay, so for those people, do you have a charity that people can help fundraise for? Give those, if they want to donate, let them donate to a charity that's going to be near and dear to your heart, or a cause that's near and dear to your heart, because they can't donate to your campaign, but they could take the pressure off of local people having to fund that community project. So make it a rotating thing. That's like me right now. I I'm contemplating whether I ever get up to the point of opening up funding on YouTube. I don't know if I would. Twitch, it's kind of an automatic thing. And I'm not even streaming over there right now because I couldn't get it to work with the Meld tonight. But I would rather not shove it down somebody's throat that they are required to do something. I'm not going to give extra benefits for that. If I have to fundraise for like a legal cause, that would be one thing. And I'd be like, hey, would you mind putting in some money for this? I would rather people put their money toward a charity that they know and appreciate, or if they're in the States, a campaign that they believe in, a person they believe in. I'd rather that. Um, like, I don't mind having a kitty jar or a tipping jar if you really feel like you want to do it. I have those available. They're linked if you really wanted them, but I don't expect anybody to do that. The expectation in there, I'm here to talk and have interactions and things like that. But a lot of people start out the way I am and then start going, well, it's my time, it's my effort. Maybe I should be making some money from this. Right now, no, we're comfortable. We're not rich, but we're comfortable. I can go to the store if I need to at the moment and buy food for our house. I can pay our bills, and that's good enough. I don't have to overextend it. I'm a tightwad. I really am. Good night, Kelly. Yeah, I'm just about hour and a half into this. My face is still hurting from all the dental work yesterday. So I didn't get covered what I wanted to get covered. I will have to stop and think about it. So good night. We have a few seconds to go until we hit that 90-minute mark. and then I too will be gone for the night. I will work on the other talking points. Absolute, if you are still out there, I hope for the best for you. I hope you find somebody local who is willing to work with you to find answers. And I believe that you can do it. How's that? Kelly, sleep well. I hope we will get your mic situation sorted out tomorrow. I hope I will go back and work on hooking the Twitch back into the Meld to see if I can get that to launch, and also the Discord volume, and actually having to work on getting the volume changed on this mic as well. I'm sorry, I don't talk loud, and I'm losing my voice now. Well, Kelly will get it hooked up tomorrow. So I love you all. Thank you very much for your time. We will keep working on getting more people together and building bridges, because together is better. Good night.